Hello my friend, in this video we're going to be working on a chill deep house song in the style of Black Loops, and we're going to be moving it from the 80% finished mark and doing the mixing and mastering and exporting so that we could actually send it off to Spotify. The song is called Black Friday, and it was recently featured in the New Music Friday editorial playlist thanks to Spotify Canada, so shout out for that. That's pretty cool. The main thing that we'll be focusing on in mixing and mastering here is constantly flicking the main song against a reference track so that the volumes and all of the mixing decisions can be done against the reference track. This is something that I've been doing quite a lot more lately, and I've been noticing a large jump in the quality of my music, so I definitely want to start showing you how to do that as well. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I'll be showing you the mastering process. We'll be going through using clippers and limiters and some compression to get the LUFS level to the right area for submitting to Spotify. So if you didn't know, ideally you want to be mastering your songs at -14 LUFS integrated, and I've figured out how to pretty consistently do that, so I'll be showing you how to do that as well. With that said, if you are having any trouble finishing any of your songs, I do have a free download available for you. It's just in the link in the description. It's called the 5-step song finishing workflow, and this is just 5 simple steps that I use every time that I'm making music to be able to very quickly and efficiently create songs. And I've been doing this for the last while now, and I'm now finishing fully complete, pretty good sounding tracks on a weekly basis. If you want to get better at finishing songs, I would definitely recommend you check that out. What we'll be working on in this video is step 5 of that process, which is mixing, mastering, and exporting. So with that said, let's jump on into Ableton and show you how to get through all this.
All right. So in this session, what we want to be doing is we want to move this song, Black Friday, from the 80% mark to the mixed and mastered mark. So let's jump right into this. So the first thing that I'm going to do over here in Ableton is, I think let's group everything. So I'm going to move the kick outside of this drum group that I already have, because that's how I've kind of been doing things lately, and move this, which is the bass, right underneath it, rename to bass, and then just want to double check some of these sounds, making sure that they are all kind of vocal parts or instrumental parts. Okay. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So it seems like most of these are. So we'll just go ahead, grab all these, right click, and group tracks, and then Command R, and we'll change that to melodic stuff. So that's mostly gonna be it. We have our drums, kick outside of that. And then we have bass, melodic stuff, and effects. Cool. So let's get into this. So what we're going to mostly be doing is be comparing this against the reference track that I have here, which is Cody Curry's song Apollo 11. And I've hotkeyed the solo button on this track. So I can press S at any point to switch between it. Now what we want to do is make sure that the levels are more or less even. I'm going to turn up Cody's track. Okay, more or less, I would say that that's it. So now the first thing I want to do is get rid of everything except for the kick. And then we're going to just switch between this and the reference and try to level match them. Turn ours down a little bit. Okay, something like that is pretty good. Now, let's slowly turn on like the snares. This is what we'll compare next. So let's switch it on. Turn up the clap a little bit. Let's hear the next. Turn that snare down a bit. Turn the snare down a bit, even more. Cool, let's add to the next snare. turning it down more. I think that's pretty close. Let's hear these hi-hats. Turn down the hi-hats just a bit. I don't think they have any shakers, so let's mix this into taste. Here's a ride. Turn up that ride. Cool. And then let's hear whatever this is. Okay. Kind of top stuff. Let's just bring that way down. Cool. I think that sounds pretty tight. So now let's add in the bass and mix that in. Bring it down for sure. I think that's pretty close, actually. So then let's just try turning on all the melodic stuff and see how we... There's a lot of layers here. It might be hard to directly match this. I want to turn up our hi-hats a bit. Turn up that ride a bit. And turn up our kick a decibel and our bass a decibel. See, I think we need more. Let's turn up these pads. Basically, just gonna keep playing with these levels. Playing with the panning and the volume for the most part. Just adjusting everything. Taste. Making sure everything sounds balanced. I want to turn these pads up even more. We'll just go into this group, bring them up a bunch. Cool. It's kind of minimal and chill. Let's go find some other parts where things are playing. What's this? Let's hear what this is. Whatever that is, it's subtle. So it's probably fine. Let's hear this next part. There's clearly something going on here. With this quack thing. Let's turn this up. Cool. Making sure everything sounds good. What's this? Little stabby thing? That's way too loud. Go into this. Go EQ8. High shelf out some of that highs. That's cool. Turns down some of this crushing effect. Go back to that. I want to add more delay from the from the return channel. That's cool. There's this vocal thing. I don't want to turn up. This thing. That's cool. Adjusting some of the EQs. Cool. I think that sounds pretty balanced, pretty chill. Let's turn on these effects. We added in one of the previous sessions. I think that's gonna do it. I'm thinking go to the bass. And this I'm thinking of going to EQ8. Removing that. And there's like this mid. Around there. Kind of sounds like poo. Let's just remove that. Something like that. Nothing too crazy. Okay, I think that's pretty cool. I would say that sounds more or less good enough. So next what we'll do is let's go back to one of the parts where like everything's playing. Maybe here. Sounds like the... That sounds weird. Let's hear this. When does this kick in? Okay, it sounds like... Yeah, these effects now are too loud, so let's go down like 3 decibels. Go down even further, 6. Let's hear the reverse crash into it. And generally... What is it, this one? Sounds too loud, so let's go in here. Probably something like that. Cool. I think that sounds pretty good. Okay. Cool. Okay, this is kind of cool. So now we'll just do a little bit of group processing. There's already something going on here. We'll adjust the threshold so that it's barely hitting. That's cool. Let's bring the snare volume down a bit. Bring down the ride volume a little bit. And there's already some processing on here. Let's just double check what we had. This is like part of the template that I don't really use much anymore, but just want to make sure everything's on here pretty good. I think this sounds pretty decent. Get rid of this EQ. Not doing anything. I think it sounds more or less good enough, to be completely honest. Good enough to release on Spotify. What it probably would do is... Let's do a little bit of... Go to the bass. Or rather the drums. Grab this glue compressor. Drop that onto the melodic track. And let's just bring that down a bit. Aiming for like -1, -2 gains of decibels of gain reduction. Something like that. Something like that. And then let's run that into probably a limiter, I'm thinking. So we'll go Command F, Pro L2, drop that in there. Let's set this up to transparent, turn off true peak, and it's really quiet, eh? Lots of room to go up. But if it's not really hitting the top, then I think the simplest thing to do is kill this. Go effects, add a clipper, and just leave that on there just in case it's needed. I think that would be more or less good enough. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just add some reverb and delay, and I'm gonna calculate the time, so 122 BPM for this. We'll punch that in. We're looking for 983 milliseconds for a half note. So we'll go into our reverb return, open that up, bring this down a bit. This way the reverb will be pumping in time. That's good. Now, we're just going to do the quick process of slowly adding in the reverb and some delay from the sense returns here into these tracks. Starting with the clap. Bring it in until you can hear it, and then dialing it back a bit. Do the same with the snare. Second snare, dial it in. Something like that. Do the hi-hats. Let's try adding some delay to add some kind of like groove. Cool. Percussion, same thing. Oh. So the percussion isn't playing here, so we'll have to find a spot where it is, which would be around here. Delay. Dial it back a bit. Drop the volume a little bit. Let's do the ride. Cool. Top loop. Cool. Then let's go back to the loudest part once more. Close the drums up. Now we just got to do this some melodic bits and we'll be good to go. Dial it in. Bring it back. Dial it back. Next part. Cool. This vocal bit. Way too much. That's cool. Dial it back just a smidge more. Piano bit. That sounds cool. Since the reverb is bringing in some gain, I'm just going to bring it back a bit because I kind of like the sound of it more spacey. Try and delay to this. Longer delay. Yeah, that's cool. And then I don't think there's anything on this. Definitely add some to the pads that open this up, make sure there's nothing on it. Okay, cool. Cool. This quack thing. A little bit of tear. Not sure what it's doing, but we'll throw it on there anyways. Cool. So now everything's been organized. We've leveled it against a professional track. And it's just to the ear, it's sounding pretty balanced. Slowly added in some reverb and delay to add some space to some and texture to some of the tracks. And now, oh, and then did a little bit of group processing as well to all these buses. Mostly just kind of shaping the dynamic range. So then what we're gonna do next is to fully finish this one, we'll need to get ready to master it. So what we'll do is head over to, I have a rack for this. My buddy Zach Adam just kind of gave me a little rundown on using multiple limiters and clippers in the mastering process. So we're going to kind of give that a try right here. So usually what I'll do is for the mastering, start off with this kind of preset in Ableton, the glue compressor for catching peaks. And all we got to do is just drag it down until we're seeing about 2 decibels of gain reduction. Too much, want it to be light. It's all about small steps adding up. Maybe too little. I think I'm pretty okay with that. Then we're gonna open up the Pro L2. The first one, let's see what we're at in terms of lux here. -18. So let's bring this up so we're just kissing. For Spotify, we might only need one. We might not need multiple limiting stages here, to be honest. Yeah, for Spotify, really all we need is... So for mastering on Spotify, I would usually go for no more than 3 decibels of gain reduction here. And then on the loudest parts, we're looking for around -13. And let's switch this to a different preset. Try aggressive and then modern. I've been liking aggressive lately. We'll go for that. Let's turn True Peak limiting on here. And then having this set to integrated deluxe. What we want to do is reset this. And if we bring this to somewhere where we're seeing around -13 at the louder parts, this will likely end up being probably pretty good. We're naming it for -14 integrated, so the quiet parts in the track will be bringing this down. So I feel like this will probably be good. So there we go. What we'll do, just to kind of cap everything off, is open our production workflow kind of Kanban board here, and we'll grab the Black Friday track, scoot it over to the mix and mastered section, and then once we export the MP3, we'll drop it in here. But now we should be good to go to get this one out on Spotify, so that's great.
Hello again, my friend. Hopefully you found that video useful. If you'd like to follow along yourself with the 5-step song finishing checklist, there will be a link in the description below where you can get access to that completely for free, and it's going to help you finish your songs a lot faster and better than ever before. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe and all that good stuff, but really the best thing I can do for you is hook you up with that free checklist, so make sure you check that one. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Have a good one.